So the big question is this: is love blind? Today we're exploring a question as old as love itself. My name is Nwosu, and welcome to the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. So I don't know if you watch the reality show Love is Blind. I love it, don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining. But after so many seasons of very little success, I think it's about time they change the name of the show because love isn't really blind, or the show hasn't been able to prove that at least. Yes, there have been one or two or three, maybe three couples, but compared to the number of people who get into the show, not really successful if we're going by the numbers. So anyway, throughout history, and since I was born, since I was a child, I've always heard this statement, love is blind, right? And it has been romanticized by Shakespeare, by the great poets, by movies, Hollywood, oh my God, you name it. And more recently, social media. This ideal that love is blind, right? It's a notion that love can transcend everything, all barriers, physical, social status, personal flaws, whatever it is, love can transcend every single thing. But is there truth to this, or is it just a fanciful la la land idea? So let's dig deeper a little bit more. So let's start with the psychological aspect of it. When we fall in love, and I'm using that term very lightly, when we fall in love, our brain releases a cocktail of chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. These love hormones can cloud our judgment, essentially making you blind. So it makes you overlook the flaws, and you start to idealize your partner, this person that you're with. So at this point, yes, you can say that love is blind because this is the initial phase of a relationship, or maybe when you're just dating exclusively. And in this stage, you have that feeling of love is blind because that's all you can't see anything. You're so blinded because all of these hormones are going off in your body, right? At this stage, you start to see your partner as the best thing since sliced bread. They can do no wrong. Everything about them is just super phenomenal, awesome. You keep telling everyone about them, about how great they are. You can't wait to be around them. You're in constant awe of them. It's such a beautiful period. You bask in this euphoria of emotions. And yes, you are blind to who they truly are. So what happens when this honeymoon phase is over? We'll get into that later. So let's talk about when we say love is blind, love is blind, love is blind. What about the physical attraction? For a lot of men, and women too, right? Because it's not like women are not physically attracted to the partners that they want to be with. They are, but maybe not as for men. If they don't like what they see, there's really no moving forward. So what about physical attraction? Can this blind love really overlook a physicality that you're not necessarily attracted to? I don't know. Is love really, really that blind to the things that you find attractive? Like if you like a taller person or a slimmer person or a light-skinned person, a dark-skinned person, blonde hair, blue eye, whatever it is. All those things that make you attracted physically to someone, if they were not there, could you still fall in love with the person? I don't know. Because these things play a huge role when it comes to you falling in love at the subconscious level. These things, when you see them and you're around them and you're exposed to them, you're in that space with this person, they're the things that push you to fall in love with them because you're just staring at them, just like, wow, this person is so beautiful, right? And beauty is relative, is whatever beauty is to you. But we all have this idea in some way or the other of what we are attracted to physically. I know that when I met David, I lost a lot of weight already, even though I've lost more weight since I've been with him. But the first time he saw my pictures from like 2 years ago when I was probably 50 pounds or 60 pounds heavier, oh my God, he was like, I would never have swiped right. And he was just being honest. And I know because when I was heavier, it wasn't like I wasn't meeting people, but yeah, I know that my weight was not some men just don't like heavier women, and it's okay. Everyone is entitled to like whatever it is that they like. So I don't know if this blind love can overlook certain physical attributes that a person finds attractive. So how does this also impact our emotional intelligence when we're in love, right? How are we able to differentiate between what is genuine love and what is just in the moment attraction, that infatuation, the butterflies in the belly, right? And this is what happens to a lot of people in the early days when you're in the honeymoon phase. We're not so emotionally intelligent. We're actually quite, another B word, right? But we are so blind at this point that we're not even able to differentiate. We don't even know. We just label everything as I'm in love. But are you though? Because I've heard people say, oh my God, this person is so amazing. I'm so in love. I can't imagine life without her. I can't imagine life without him. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, how's George? Oof. I'm like, you were in love like 2 weeks ago. Was it really love? Or was it just infatuation? So this whole idea of blind love, it really doesn't help when it comes to the emotional intelligence for you to be able to make the right decisions and assess and really see things as they are, really see the person, really focus on getting to know the person before you start labeling it love. So blind love, you might be excited about it, or maybe it's not what it's made out to be, right? And like I mentioned in the beginning, social media really hasn't helped, right? This has really clouded our perception of what love is. You see all these amazing pictures online, curated, by the way, half of it not real. It doesn't mean that there are no real relationships, that people are not sharing their true stories online, but a lot of it is just make-believe. It's just exaggerated images, showcasing love that maybe is not as it seems on social media. But then we buy into this and we become more susceptible because we're thinking this is how we should be. Oh my God, I want this feeling. This is the feeling. I want to just be in awe of this person all the time. But that's not what it's about. Love is not about this picture perfect image on social media. It's deeper than that, right? So social media is here promoting this love is blind belief, and everyone is now looking for, I just need to find the person that's going to fall blindly in love with me. Whereas you should be working on becoming the best version of yourself so that you can find a person who compliments you, who values you, and who you value, and you're both on the same page, same wavelength, so you can attract one another. So rather than just saying, oh, I believe in blind love, someone's going to love me and take me as I am, maybe just focus on working on yourself and trying to be your best self and allow true love, real love, to come into your life and stop trying to be blind. So yes, while I believe that in the early days, most relationships do start off as blind, because at that point you're in this lovey-dovey stage where you don't really see any flaws in your partner, where you just accept them exactly how they are. But that's not sustainable long term. So over time, as the relationship progresses, it becomes a journey of knowing, of finding out more about who the person truly is, of understanding, of accepting their flaws and all, and choosing to be with the person. That's what really strengthens real love. It's about seeing them for who they are and loving them regardless. Not just this initial butterfly stage version of them that you've seen. It doesn't mean that that's a fake version, but it's just how it works. At that point, you can't see clearly the blind love stage. Real love, true deep relationship is about knowing your partner deeply and choosing them still, and wanting to go the long haul with them, wanting to wake up every day and with the skills gone, with the blindness gone, still be like, yes, I choose you. I choose you. And I think that's why it's important to be very clear on what it is that you want. Be very clear on who you are. What kind of partner do you want? What values are you looking for? Very early on, before you start getting into dating and all, right? Know what you want and say no to everything else. So that when you meet a person and you go blind, you know that when the scales fall off and the blindness erodes from your life and now you can see, then at least you had made the right decision from the onset. So now there's more substance, there's more foundation for the relationship to survive beyond the honeymoon stage. A lot of my clients that I work with, a lot of my friends that I coach as well, they struggle to get beyond the 3-month stage. And that's typically when the honeymoon is over, 3 to 6 months. So in the first 3 months is like, oh my God, this person is the best since sliced bread. And then 3 to 6 months later, they're done. And maybe that's because they stay stuck in this love is blind stage, or this belief that love is blind. Or maybe they're just blinded in love. However you want to coin it. The reality is that love is beyond just that initial stage. The butterflies will come and go. The question is, will you be okay with what is left when you can now see? So is love blind? In the beginning, yes. But true love, it evolves. True love sees, eyes wide open. It sees, it understands, and it accepts. It's not about not seeing the person's flaws. It's not about being blind. It's about seeing them and embracing them as part of who this complex, amazing human being is and choosing to love them all the same. Thank you for listening to today's episode on the Second Chances podcast, a love journey in black and white. Till next time, sending you love and light.